Hey guys, it's Murph back again, just doing a quick video on the Surron. Basically just going over, has it reached its final form? I gotta tell you guys, almost a year later from when I got the thing and I started doing the aftermarket mods and stuff, and I think I've pretty much reached the pinnacle of what this thing can do. Basically beyond this, you could do a 72 volt battery and then go with a BAC 8000 instead of a 4000. You'll get its absolute ultimate performance mode, but for right now, without spending $2 grand on a battery, this is what it is. So I'll try and start from the beginning and not forget anything. I'll put it in the description if I do, but I'll try and get everything in here. So starting from the front, we got the 21-inch front wheel. It's an Excel rim. I built it myself. You can get spokes, nipples from Holmes Hobbies. You can get the rim. And then you can just watch on YouTube. There's plenty of bike wheel build tutorials. They can show you how to do it. You just got to get a rim that'll work with the Surron. I believe it's 36 laces, correct? I did this a year ago, so I might be forgetting. But you're basically, the weird thing is you're mating a dirt bike rim with a bicycle hub. So it's like a hybrid wheel. But I made this one myself. I'm using a skinny wheel. Let's get the size real quick. I think it's a 70 by 100 by 21. And that's so it fits on this fork. Otherwise, it'll rub on the sides. This is basically as big as you can go, and it's a little on the small side. And I cannot find the size. Yeah, here it is, 70 by 100 by 21. And if you have the RST Killer fork, it just clears out on each side. And honestly, when you're building the wheel, if you do build a wheel yourself, you can true it right on the forks because there's so little of a tolerance that you're making a perfectly straight wheel if you true it on these forks. Then you got to put it on a stand, keep the front wheel in the air, spin it while you're truing it. And for those of you that don't know, truing a rim means when you're building the wheel, you're trying to get it perfectly straight, and so it's not egg-shaped and it's a perfect circle. So you can do it on this fork, and it makes it a little bit easier, actually, because I bought a cheap stand, and it just didn't work out. Not to take too much time on the wheel, I just got an aftermarket front fender. This is the toe peak one, or top peak, or whatever it is. It bolts underneath. It just goes underneath the fork and clamps into it. Got the Renthal direct mount stem, the Pro Taper rise bars, the Tusk D-Flex handguards, got a little cell phone mount. These things are cheap. They're just Chinese aftermarket ones. You can just get them anywhere. This one works good though. It clamps down. It works good with bigger phones like my Galaxy S21 Ultra. Holds it real tight. It ain't going anywhere. Even if you drop the bike, it'll probably hold it. It's got little rubber things here to keep the phone from getting banged up while it's in there. You got to get a spacer kit if you're going to do a direct mount stem for the bar here, or the tube, the steering tube. And you got to get spacers so the headlight can stay mounted. You got to get spacers under here, so all that stuff's aftermarket. Going back now, I got my BAC 4000 from Tesnick. It doesn't come with a screen. You don't know anything anymore. And since I did an Emoto Bros battery bypass, I hooked up an aftermarket voltage reader. Works good. I have it mounted in here with just some silicone so it stays put. The only problem with this is when you're on the gas, you get a lot of battery sag, so it's not accurate. Like you can see the number going up right now. Of course, the thing's going to kick on while I'm talking, so just give that a second. But you're going to see this go up because it even has voltage sag just turning the key on and off. But at least you have a reading because your battery gauge is no longer accurate. So now, down here, we got the aftermarket skid plate. This is a plastic one. It's from Race Spec Surron. I think this is their second version. It's just a thick plastic. I like it because it's nice and light, but it's very sturdy. We got aftermarket flow foot pegs. They're pretty expensive, but they're nice foot pegs. Luna finally started selling these. I was having a hard time getting them anywhere else. This is the peg lowering kit. It lowers your pegs a little bit if you're a bigger person, 6 foot and up, I would say. and then they sell it with the cross member bar. This is to strengthen it, because now that you're going even farther down with the pegs, when you do a jump or any kind of stress on this, these things bend in and out. They're just not that strong. So the crossbar here strengthens that when you're falling down on these and putting your weight on them. I put an aftermarket little bracket thing on my kickstand. I had that in a previous video. It just helps, like if you're in the dirt, it gives it a wider footprint so your kickstand doesn't sink in the dirt and flop over. You can just go, those are Chinese, you just get them on eBay or Amazon. I did a bigger tire in the back. This is a 90, I believe, a 100 by 90 by 19. Now this is what everybody doesn't want to do, because you have to chop your right tread down so it'll clear the chain. This just clears. And this actually makes the bike sit so much higher that this is a 3/4 inch riser link. It's a 3/4 inch, and the other guy also sells an 1.5 inch riser link. It's called Monster. It's a guy on eBay. That I'm actually using a 9.5 by 3.0 shock. So the shock's actually a little bit smaller. It's an inch smaller in total length, eye to eye, and it's a 1/2 inch less travel. So, I mean, I'm not doing huge jumps or anything, so I don't think it's gonna matter. And the other benefit to this is these 10.5 inch shocks, these aftermarket ones, are very hard to come by. So these 9.5s are much more common, and right now they're actually available. I got that Bomber CR used, and for those of you who don't know, Marzocchi is made by Fox, so that's actually like the same thing as a Fox Vanilla, when they used to make those, a Fox Van shock. So it's actually a decent shock. I don't know if using a smaller shock, even though I'm using the riser to compensate for the little bit the shock is smaller, is going to change the geometry. As far as I can tell, it works just like normal, so I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Comment down below if you know any different. I think this is an RC chain. They sell them on Ebikezilla. RC Racing, I believe. I know it's R something, and it's a non-O-ring chain. These chains are nice because they bend a lot easier. There's less resistance, but you just got to make sure you lube these really good and keep them clean, because without O-rings, they're just higher maintenance chains. 54 tooth aftermarket sprocket, also from Ebikezilla. Aftermarket mud flap from Ebikezilla. I told you guys about the rear tire. It's just a Kenda Classic. Now, whether somebody was saying that some of these tires don't have to be trimmed, and this size, I don't think that's true, because they're just too big. But I think that's basically, oh, I got the aftermarket Fender. That was from Race Spec, or either that or Dirty Bike Industries. I got that a long time ago. And I think that's it. And like I was saying, I think the Surron's basically reached its ultimate form besides the 72 volt battery. Maybe a BAC 8000, they say that's overkill. And a set of front forks. That's another one thing I want to do. Right now forks are sold out and they're very hard to find, so I would like to do the Marzocchi Bomber 58s are a good deal, I think. Like I said, it's basically cheaper end of lower. It's cheaper Fox stuff. They sell like a little bit older technology in the fork, but it's basically the same thing as a Fox 40. So I would like to do that when they're available. They're about $1,000, but other than that, it is what it is. And oh, you can't see this, but I had a video on it too. I put a stiffer spring in this fork to make this fork tolerable, at least, because this RST Killa fork was way too soft. You could blow through it. I mean, the bike sitting under its own weight, it would sag 2 inches by itself with no weight on it. So definitely was needed, but I think that's everything. Unless I forgot something. I'm sure I did forget. Oh, and the seat riser. I got the seat riser, and that was from Surron shop over in Russia. I think that's it. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one.